Welcome to Radiant Grace Yoga with Dana Johnson, midwife, postpartum care provider, registered prenatal yoga teacher, and Hatha yoga. And I welcome you here today for our postpartum yoga practice. So I'll invite you to find a comfortable seat, whatever you have around you to support you. If you don't have a blanket or a bolster, that's totally fine. Just sit where you are. And I'll invite you to close your eyes when you're ready. Just knowing that if there's any distractions going on around you, that you can come back to this video at any time. Pause and come back. And just taking your first few cleansing and clearing breaths. Just breathing in any way that feels good to you and feels grounded. I want you to take a moment just to put your fingertips on the floor. Just feel the earth, maybe even feel around your seat where you're at. So just feel where you are in this space and time that you're here present for postpartum yoga. And if your baby wants to join, needs to be a part of practice, that is totally fine. And you can rest your hands back onto the tops of your legs. And we'll take a few more breaths with your a hand over your lower belly and a hand over your heart. Unless you're holding your baby, and you can place just one hand over your belly. And bringing your breath into your hand that's over the lower belly as you inhale, and as you exhale, feel the hand drop back. Beginning to breathe into your diaphragm, we're breathing into our hand, letting the navel rise. And we're letting the navel draw back towards the spine. Let's do 2 more breaths like that. And then go ahead and release your hands, bringing them together in front of your heart. To begin our practice with one Om. Let's take a full breath in. Exhaling fully out. And beginning with your next inhale, take a breath. Letting your chin draw down towards your chest, just bowing into the cave of the heart. Just take a moment to imagine this cave with a fire burning brightly. And release your hands and open your eyes. Let's just take one big stretch, reaching tall, whatever feels good. Maybe a little side to side. Maybe it's the first time you've stretched in the last 4 weeks since you've had your baby, 6 weeks, whatever it is. Let's take the right hand to the floor, the left arm overhead. Even if it was 6 months ago, inhale. We don't always have the time to move and nourish our body. Exhale to the left. Inhaling back through center, reach long through the spine, twisting to the left, right fingertips to your knee or shin. You might be holding your baby, you could still take a twist here and move back through center into the other side. And back through center. So now we're going to come on to tabletop. And again, if you have your baby with you, you could lay your baby underneath you so you can see each other. And that might work out for a little while. Knees under the hips, inhaling cow. And exhaling cat. As you exhale, draw your navel in towards the spine. And as you inhale, keep it gentle, hugging in. So exhale, round. Inhale, one more cow. And exhale for cat pose. We're going to sit back on our heels, and then we're going to take our hands to our belly so that you might feel your lower ribs with your thumb. You might not. Somewhere in that vicinity. We're going to breathe into our hands again. You'll feel them maybe separate. And as you exhale, you'll feel your fingertips come closer together. They might touch, they might not. So So we're going to inhale again. We're just bringing the abdominal muscles back online. We're connecting back in to that mind-body connection after our muscles were stretched and expanded to their fullest. Let's do one more inhale and exhale. And I want you to imagine your outer hip bones as you inhale. Just breathe into your belly, and as you exhale, drawing the outer hip bones towards each other. So we're going a little deeper now. Inhale down into the lower belly and the pubic bone. Exhale, draw the outer hip bones towards the midline. You can let your hands rest. Let's do 2 more. Inhale into the belly. And then exhale, that drawing in, drawing the hip bones towards the navel and the lower ribs, knitting in together. And then you could go ahead and release. So when we're moving through some of our postures, we want to think about that hugging in. So we're going to come back into our tabletop, perhaps taking 2 blocks. And we're just going to step the right foot forward, coming into a low lunge. You might tuck your back toes. And so we're going to bring your hand to your thigh or keep them on the blocks. Hug your right foot and your left knee towards one another. And so being mindful, we still have relaxing hormones when we're postpartum. They last for about 7 or 8 months. So we're hugging in, that's going to stabilize the pelvis. Hug in. So imagine you're drawing the outer hip bones towards the navel like we did a second ago. Lift your arms overhead or keep supporting yourself. To add a little more workout to it, you might be holding your baby through this. We're breathing long, deep, even breaths. And then bring your hands to your blocks if you have them, or they can come to the floor, straightening your front leg into a runner stretch. Press your heel into the floor as you draw your heel back. So you're moving your hip crease back. Folding over your front leg, a gentle bend in your right knee. And then we're just going to seesaw back and forth. So we're going to lunge and runner stretch just a few times. And then we're going to come back into our lunge. Bring your blocks, if you have them, to your sides. If you don't necessarily need them. Inhale, arms up overhead. Take your right hand down to the block, or you can just dangle left arm overhead. And rise back up, coming to the other side. Step the left foot forward, tuck the right toes. Again, we're firming in, drawing your left foot as if you're trying to wrinkle your mat. You're drawing towards that center. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Hug the lower belly in. Take a breath. And bring your hands to the blocks or the floor, straighten the left leg. Press the heel down and imagining you're trying to drag it back, moving your left hip crease back and fold over the left leg. And just know you might not go quite as deep if you're only 4 to 6 weeks postpartum. Just going at a degree that feels okay. So now we're going to come up and we're just going to seesaw forward and back. Just a couple of times. And then coming back into a lunge. Maybe walking your blocks back if you have them. Inhale, arms overhead. Inside and to the left. Either dangling your left hand or using the block to support you. And inhale, rise back up. We're going to come back to our tabletop. Walking or you can just move your blocks out to the sides. We're going to walk the hands forward, coming into puppy pose, bringing your forehead to the floor. Hips are lifted. And take a breath. Breathing into the belly, and as you exhale, drawing your navel in towards the spine, draw the lower belly in. Lift back through the tailbone, lifting up, lifting the sit bones. Let's do one more breath. And then walking your hips, your hands back, coming maybe into full child's pose. If that does not feel comfortable, you can stay lifted into puppy pose. You could even put a block under your forehead or a bolster. Walking your hands back, coming back to tabletop. You remove your block if you have it, and we're going to come onto our seat. We're going to draw your left heel in towards your pubic bone, taking your right leg out to the sides. Just go ahead and slide out over the right leg, maybe to your ankle or your toes. Taking the left arm up overhead, if that feels good. Just feeling that whole left side stretch. Let's take a couple more breaths. Inhale, rise up. Supporting your right leg, draw the foot in, and we'll switch sides. Right heel comes in, left leg out, and just slide out along your leg. Right arm reaches up over. And inhale, coming back up. We're going to lay on our back. Bending our knees, place your feet on the floor. We're going to take a bridge pose. So just let the feet be about hip width apart. Femur bones are parallel. Take your arms into robot arms. This can also be done with the baby on you. Pretty much everything can be done with the baby on you. Letting your fingertips point up. Press into your upper arms as you lift your hips. Ground through your feet, press through your heels as you lift your hips, maybe a centimeter or an inch higher. Now you can keep your hands here pressing into your upper arms, or you can interlace your fingers, hugging your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep lifting up. Breathe into your belly. The other option, if this is still just not feeling good in your body, is to take a block and place it under your sacrum. And have a more restorative resting bridge. If you've been in bridge, go ahead and bring your hips down. Perhaps taking a second bridge, or come into this restorative version. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. And then go ahead and press into your feet, lifting your hips off the block or coming down from bridge pose. Rocking your knees side to side, just do a little windshield wiper from side to side. And then we'll take the legs out along the floor for Shavasana, corpse pose. If this is a time that you are able to take corpse pose, I encourage you to stay for about 5 to 10 minutes, or at least take an opportunity through the day where your baby is sleeping and take a 5-minute Shavasana. And from here, just coming back into your breath, just feeling the texture of the breath move through your nose and back out through the nose. And just feeling the support all around you. Let's bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your lower belly. Just take a moment to breathe into the heart and into the womb space. Just imagining this stream of life flowing between the heart and the womb. And just breathing in gratitude to those who have made it possible for you to practice today. And gratitude for yourself for making time to practice. This is where we will come to the end of our postpartum practice today. And below you will find my website, Radiant Grace Yoga with Dana, to find more information on classes, YouTube classes, postpartum care. And thank you. Namaste.